everybody, my name is Megan, this is S'more, and today we're going to do a yoga flow that incorporates one of my favorite poses, and that's triangle pose. So we'll get some nice side stretching in here and also open up through our chest. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start by opening up our sides through a nice side stretch. So, or down dog, if you want to jump right in. But for the rest of us, we're just gonna reach up tall and breathe down through center quickly. And then let's reach up with our left hand and over to our right side. Nice side stretch. If you'd like a little bit more, you can look up. And then we'll do the same thing, opposite side. Left hand comes down, right hand reaches up. Reach and look up. I like to think of trying to keep both sit bones on the ground. Sometimes this hip wants to come up, but the more I plant it, the better the stretch is. We'll put both hands down and just some nice quick side stretches. So just twisting over first to my right side. And then coming back through center, twisting to my left. Just waking that body up, getting it into yoga mode. And then I'm gonna just do a nice wide-legged straddle. So to whatever degree you feel comfortable, legs come straight. And I'm just gonna fold over either side. So we'll start by folding over our right side. I'm gonna look towards my toes. If this doesn't work in your body, you can always reach this way, but kind of got in there with our seated side stretch already, so this kind of gives a different dynamic. Again, think of rooting down through both sit bones this time. Although my left side wants to come up, I just gently remind it to stay right there. And then back up through center, and then same thing opposite side. This time I'm looking at my left foot. Feel a nice stretch all through here, especially when I remind myself to root down. And then we'll come up through center. We'll go into cross-legged again. And then just fold forward. Now for those more advanced yogis, if you want to just come into this position, I've heard it called fire log, double pigeon, what have you. That'll give you a little bit of a deeper stretch. This is pretty intense though, so if this doesn't work in your body, don't sweat it. And then we're back up through center, and we're gonna head over into tabletop position and hit some of those cat-cows. I know it seems like in yoga this is just such a standard move that you can't get away from, but it kind of hits so many good spots that it's a good one to incorporate. So we'll just start with that nice neutral spine, and then we'll go up through cat, head tips down, think of the tailbone coming down too, and then rise up through cow. Said in one of my earlier videos, why is this called cow? And we'll just keep moving through. And my husband was saying the other day, he's like, well, if you look at cows, they really do have backs like that. And I'm like, huh. Well, we were driving sort of out in this country area, and I saw a whole bunch of cows, and I'm like, oh wow, they really do. They do the cow back. It makes a lot more sense to me now. They have a nice little curve in the back. So we'll aim for that as we're in cow. We'll take one last cat right here, and then back down through that cow, and then neutral spine. And now we're just gonna do modified side plank. So I'm gonna keep my right leg on the ground, left foot's gonna come out straight, and we're just reaching up nice and tall. Again, a nice side stretch. This is preparing us for triangle. And if you'd like to, you can take a couple circles here, warming up those shoulders a little bit more. And then back through, just a couple times. And then we'll do the same thing opposite side. So my left leg, or my left hand's gonna come down, left foot stays in what I like to call a kickstand. And then we come up. If you wanna jump into full side planks for these, feel free. But I think for most of us, it's kind of good here to focus on the stretch versus the strength as we're first getting going. There's that temptation for some of us to just jump into the deep end of the ocean, which is absolutely fine if that's what your body is calling for, but it's also nice to just sort of wake things up in a little bit of a slower way if you can do it. And we'll come back down, and now we'll stop with the slowness and get into those abs, which I know for most of us, we feel pretty quick. So I'm gonna roll all the way down, and I'm gonna start with a pose that's a bit of a challenge, but I actually am coming to really like it. So we're gonna get as long as we possibly can, and then I'm gonna think of my left hand coming to my left foot. So it forces the crunch in the abs in both ways, in our abs that are sort of higher up, and then in those lower abs that for me are really hard to train. We'll just do a handful. If you want more advanced, legs are both off the ground completely. So just a few. You don't need much more with this exercise. And we'll come back through, maybe stretch long and take a nice break there. And then we'll do the same thing opposite sides. And this time, my right hand, my right foot are coming to touch. Again, if you'd like that little extra, you can start with the left foot elevated as well. Everything stays contracted. And just crunch. Really good. Like I said, you don't need a ton of these because you'll feel them right away. And we're gonna do one more ab workout, which is pretty intense as well. We'll go ahead and let that all go. So it'll really wake up the abs, which is nice. And it's called boat. So give yourself a hug, roll up as you're ready, and then we'll make our way into boat. Boat variations and modifications here too. So don't feel, if this is not in your practice regularly, you can certainly play with it. Let me start with sort of the most easy to approach boat position is just like this, and then you start to play with lifting the feet off the ground. If that's something you're already very comfortable with, we can come here. Just think of getting long from the seat all the way up through the crown, long through those legs, even extending them out if you'd like. We'll just stay here for a couple more seconds and then let that go. We'll back up. Maybe reorient yourself, and then we're gonna go for it again, holding in the boat. So pick your boat. Which boat do you want to cruise in? And then just start to really engage. And what I like to think about, of course, as this goes on, it's taxing on the body. So can I relax my shoulders back? Can I engage those abs even more? You're gonna feel this all through the hip flexors too. So there's a lot going on in this pose. And we'll let it go. That's why it's so good, right? And last one's gonna be boat with a little bit of movement. We're gonna add in low boat. So take a deep breath. We'll come into boat, and then we're gonna come down into low boat and back up. Come down into low boat, back up, down into low boat, maybe hold, and come back up. Really, really nice, everybody. Absolutely beautiful. Now that we're all warmed up, let's make our way up to the top of our mat. We'll start to come through a nice little flow and really get into that triangle pose. So we're gonna start with some sun bees, which include chair pose. So sweep those hands down, come up, sit in the chair. As we're in chair, I like to think of engaging my abs too. So this is a really dynamic pose. And then we're gonna go into twist. You pick your twist. We're gonna twist to the right. You can twist with arms open, or you can twist down here. So whichever way works. We're doing the opposite side too, so don't worry. We sweep up and then chair. Again, would you like to chair here, or would you like to chair here? Either is fine. And then we're gonna come all the way up, hands plant. We'll step back in that plank, lower down to chaturanga, come up through up dog, and push back to downward facing dog. Take a beat here in down dog. If you'd like to walk at those legs, you can. Beautiful. We'll sweep a right leg up, come all the way through, and we're coming into warrior one. So take your time getting into this position. My back foot is at a 45-degree angle, right foot's facing forward, then I sweep my hands up. Really nice. And then both hands plant to the ground. My right foot comes back to meet my left. Lower to chaturanga, always option to put those knees on the ground. Sweep up through up dog. Push back, downward facing dog. Left leg comes up, sweep on through, coming up into warrior one. Again, thinking of the hips facing the front of the mat, arms sweep up tall. Can you get a little deeper? Why not, right? And then hands come down. This is the only sun V we are doing today in full version, so enjoy it, soak it up, push back, and then push back into down dog. Again, a moment if you'd like to go ahead and walk out the dog. Look up to your hands, bend your knees generously, and step up. And then we'll come into halfway lift, forward fold down, sweep all the way up. Exhale, mountain pose. Now let's add on. We're gonna hit that chair again. So sweep into chair. And we're gonna do the chair twist too. So go ahead again, whichever arm variation works for you. If none of them work, skip this and just stay in chair. Sweep up to chair. Come back through. Really, really nice. Sweep up to chair, standing all the way up. Mountain pose. Now we're gonna step back into crescent. So my right foot stays, my left foot goes back. The difference between crescent and warrior one is that back foot here, now we're in a lunge versus it being planted. So really easy way to remember the difference. We're gonna reach all the way up. And then we're gonna open up into warrior two. Really, really nice. If you can, think about deepening that warrior. And then we're gonna come up to my favorite pose, star pose. Just getting as wide and as big as you possibly can. Beautiful. And now we're gonna do forward fold. So we're folding down. Pasarita is what this is called. You don't need that extra jump that I did. I just oriented myself on the mat. Hands can be here at your feet, down below your face, whichever way you'd like to go. We're gonna come back up to star, and now we're going to triangle. So triangle pose. Feel free to grab a block if you'd like, and you're gonna extend down into triangle. If you don't have a block, don't worry about it. Hand can come on to, let me show you, your shin, and you're sweeping up. A lot of people also like to come down to the ground. Absolutely fine, but just make sure you're not collapsing because a big part of this pose is opening through the chest. Beautiful. We'll come back up to star, back to crescent. Left foot comes up to meet the right. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Follow me here. We're gonna sweep back up into that chair. Twist to the right. Sweep back up and twist to the left. Beautiful. Sweep back up, stand all the way up, and now we're hitting that crescent. So this time my left foot stays. My right foot comes back. I'm gonna sweep all the way up into crescent. Really, really nice. Open into that warrior two. Now we're going back to star, up to star, and swing on down into Pasarita. Again, hands can come wherever you'd like, but really think of deepening. This is a tricky one, but it's a good one. We're gonna sweep back up into star, reaching nice and wide, and now triangle pose. So again with triangle, my front foot is gonna be facing the front of the mat, and I'm gonna extend down, and this time you can see it from the back, opening through the chest, rising through the hand. Really nice. And then we're gonna come up to star, sweep back to crescent, and then right foot comes up to meet the left, and we stand in mountain pose. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and do a second flow using triangle pose. So I'm gonna sweep back down into chair, take a nice seat. Don't worry about it. We're not gonna do those twists this time, but I'm gonna keep my right foot, and if I can, stay low as you're doing this, and step back into crescent. Come out into two, warrior two. We'll come over, side angle. Then we're gonna sweep up into archer. Really nice stretch here. So side angle, archer, and triangle are like such a good combo because we're going right into triangle. So our feet are already set up for it. We're gonna extend down, reach up, open through the chest. Think of both of those shoulder blades connecting in the back of your body. Really nice. Head can be wherever it feels best. And we're gonna open up into archer again. Cartwheel our hands down. Front foot comes back to meet the back. Let's see if we can avoid that block. Come down, sweep up, down dog, left side. Left foot swings up. We're gonna sweep on through, come all the way up to crescent. Really, really nice. Beautiful. We'll open into two, reverse, come through into side angle. Notice the difference between triangle and side angle, right? And I like to kind of, for a little bit more, keep my hand off my leg. You can do side angle however you'd like. Reach up through archer, come all the way through. You can shorten your stance if that feels better, and open into triangle. Beautiful. We'll come back up, reverse one last time. Hands come down as we plant, lower to chaturanga, swing up through up dog, push back to downward facing dog. Look to your hands, step, or maybe you want to try hopping this time. Halfway lift, forward fold, sweep all the way up, exhale, mountain pose. Beautiful job, you guys. That was a nice, fun flow with our little triangle pose. And now we can let that all go and come back down to the ground just for a couple more side stretches. So let's go ahead and get right into those. I'm gonna lay all the way down. First, give myself a nice little hug. And then I'm gonna let my legs come off to the left, reaching up through the side. Maybe even my gaze goes away from my bent knee. Hand can be in goalpost, it can reach up. Come back through center, another nice hug. And of course, knees need to go off to the opposite side, get that other side stretch. Really good. Beautiful. One more hug in, and now let's do recline butterfly. So feet touch. We're just letting the hips hang open, or open up, I should say. They're not hanging open. And the knees are actually the ones that are kind of helping guide our hips more open. Of course, if this doesn't feel good in your body, bring back up. Just be gentle with the body, but we hold a lot of tension in the hips. So the more you can let this pose really melt into your body, I think the more you're gonna feel the benefits over time of those hips starting to really open up. Beautiful. Now, if you like, you just straighten out those legs and you relax in Shavasana. Just a nice meditational opportunity for you if you have the time. If you don't, I will come sit up with you and end today's class. Thank you so much for taking the time to flow with me. I hope you enjoyed this flow that focused in on triangle. If you have other flows you'd like to see or ideas for flows, please put them in the comments below. I'm always looking for new class ideas. And I just enjoy spending time with you. So thank you so much for spending this time with me. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.